Are you getting that over there? Where is it? Let me see, my beer is here. And the other camera's just outside the reach of the lens. No, it's over here, see? It's the one that's blinking. Funny enough, it looks yellow on that. Okay, I wasn't going to say this, but I think it's about time that maybe, it's been bouncing around in my mind for a little while. Now, don't get delusions of grandeur. We are in the paradigm shift, and that was foretold under what can only be said as mystical circumstances. In 1904, in the month of April, in Cairo. Had to be in Cairo. It had to be in fucking Cairo. I don't know why. But anyway, this non-incarnate entity was floating around and looking for somewhere to sort of land and make a connection to. Now the story goes that this disincarnate spirit or whatever it was, intelligence, who knows? I don't fucking know. But it was like floating around like that. And, well, this story has probably been through a few other filters, psychic filters, not mine, but others. These ideas, they exist almost independent of human beings. I'm almost prepared to wager. Well, how the hell are you going to prove it? So fuck the wager. If it not be Pascal's. So anyway, this disincarnate spirit connected with some tourist fool that happened to be screwing around down there, some British ponce, whatever the hell that means. It was upper class whore or whatever. No, I believe she came probably from what they'd call a nice British family, but who knows what the hell that is. Nowadays, of course. But yeah, it's probably a family of some, well, the British being a class system, and at that time a pretty rigid one of the kind, class, Jesus. They've got it in down. Oh, where you've got royalty, you've got class systems with dukes and barons and earls and all the rest of that shit. It's not so pronounced in Denmark, but to say in heraldry and blue book family shit, even though these people be, I've met a couple of comtesses in my time, whatever the fuck those are. Well, I think they're just basically handmaidens to the real royalty, but they became a royalty of their own, hereditary. The mother of my one and only daughter is somehow related to one of his aforementioned handmaidens. Well, anyway, I digress. I'm trying to tell a story here now. Seeing this is the new pen, maybe. So we've got to think about what we're going to say. Oh yes, I was in Cairo in 1904. A lot of things were happening in 1904. I don't know. Go look it up. But I mean, the asshole was in fucking Cairo, and you know, having lots of money, he could indulge himself in all kinds of ways. I believe he bribed his way into the, you know, the Great Pyramid. Back in them days, probably was pretty easy to do. I mean, I don't know when they stopped the graffiti. Maybe they should allow the graffiti on the Great Pyramid. You know, who wouldn't want to go over there and carve his stone, carve his little piece of eternity in there? Well, that's what we're doing here. We're carving our little piece of eternity. Basic concept being this, that yes, these are the pot shards. We are the people that you in the future, you the unborn, would have loved to fucking interview. So I'm asking you now, if it comes around somehow or now, phone me from the future. When you achieve the technology, you know where to find me. Oh, there goes Captain America. Have you noticed the YouTube lately? Changes have come over it. Probably since they signed that FCC thing, whatever the hell that was. Probably gonna, I mean, clothed in words like fairness and all that shit, it's probably gonna turn out to be a goddamn great big fight about who gets money and where, and we're never gonna get rid of the fucking commercials. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and fellow consumers, I suggest you vote with your money. Like Alex Jones says, vote with your dollars, you know. Don't support products that, you know. We don't want gene mod of any kind. You know, and all this vaccination hype is also more bullshit, just more bullshit. They say they're trying to save you, but what they're really trying to do is to get the herd all round up and, you know, and using the salami method, I mean, so, you know, incrementally, little by little. Doctors aren't really trying to save your life. They're at best trying to maybe alleviate your pain, or I don't know what. Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, they're medical texts. I mean, say they know the whole damn thing. I mean, say they know a lot. They know a real lot, but they are ignorant of so much other things, like, you know. And that's only experience that can show that. I know there's lots of fucking wise, good old doctors out there that this is their profession. All they've ever wanted to do is to understand the mechanisms of the human body and fucking save lives. And if that isn't noble, then I don't really know what is. And what is that hypocritical oath? You know, at least do no harm. Well, I believe most of the harm that I've done myself in this life, and probably I have to take responsibility for it, for fuck's sake, you know. I did say that you can work when you get old. Work! Fuck, you can work when you get old. What was it he said, the asshole? Find out first what work is. The great work is not far beyond that. Yeah. Blasphemy. What is blasphemy? God. What is blasphemy? Murder is blasphemy. Murder is blasphemy. It's very, very simple, folks. And I say this from the heart. The meaning of life, you know. I mean, Christ, if you want to know it. Yeah, right, Christ. I say that, you know. Jesus. Jesus. No. I mean, the Buddha said it's all suffering, right? You had that part right. But it's also joy and ecstasy and all the other things too, you know. And patience. And having long suffering, fucking, oh yeah. All the rest. Because the thing is, we're all suffering from the same affliction. I mean, what was it Lenin said? Not Ivan Lenin, or whatever it said, Ivanovich Lenin, but good old John. You were busy making other plans and then it happened to you. Oh well. Once again, I get off the track, but we were talking about disincarnate spirits floating around in the early 20th century in Cairo. It is said that the same one had been floating around, and had landed on the shoulder of some incarnate human being there, a mathematician by the name of Dodgson, who, of course, was Lewis Carroll's real name. And of course, Lewis Carroll, as we all know, are well known for his little poems and stories and weird things and Through the Looking Glasses and all those things. And, I mean, he was really into, you know, mathematics and photography and little girls. Oh man, thank heaven for little girls. But once again, you know, we really can't judge him by our standards today, you know. I mean, who knows, maybe he was a homosexual or something like that. Think about fucking Oscar Wilde and all the rest of that crap, you know. I mean, say we culturally had to come through a lot of things, you know. And the shackles of fucking religion. Jesus, the shackles of religion. And the moneyed class. And us, the fucking impoverished masses, scraping our way out of the fucking mud. By our cleverness and our hard work and our fucking bending the rules any which way we could. Because after all, we didn't make the fucking rules that the man made. Okay, we recognize the Ten Commandments. Those were, you know, taken sort of for granted. I mean, but, you know, when all was said and done, those are the main 10, aren't they? Guidelines. When have I heard that before? Anyway, it's human freedom it's about. And I'm not talking about the freedom to fucking run around and rape and kill and pillage and all the rest of the thing is, but the thing is, you know, we're moral fucking human beings, all suffering. We're all in the same boat, bros. We're all in this, and that's my name, man. We're all in the fucking same boat. Should be fucking obvious to any sentient being that we are all in the same boat. No, well, back to 1984. Skip about exactly 50 years, and hey, you know, here I turn up. And I don't know, I'm not saying that that same butterfly happened to land on my shoulders, but, well, to make a long story short, I stumbled across this shit and it dawned on me that, hey, you know what? I'm the goddamn grand epopt of the fucking Illuminati, you know? I'm not going to be here and you're probably going to be eating bugs. I mean, not literally, but processed probably. Designer bugs, protein. Termites eating fucking newspapers, living in vats and being extracted for their protein and turned into delicious fucking peanut buttery type of desserty things. Your kids are gonna love it. Oh God almighty. But okay, you know, I mean to say, I grew up watching Star Trek. Back in the 60s when it first came out, you know. I'm of that generation. I remember when the skies were blue. And the clouds were white. And we actually had the Aurora Borealis in Canada. I've seen the Northern Lights, man. Old Paul Bunyan grew up with all the stories. Indians, North American, always felt a spiritual connection with the natural people of everywhere, like, you know, the Inuit when I came to Denmark, and all the rest. Sort of tribal, spiritual, weird thing. Jesus Christ. One of the first guys I run into over here, you know, when I started fucking around on my own, 16-year-old pissing around with acid. He's doing life without parole, man. Can't remember if he actually did turn 21 in prison. I hope to God he had been 21. I can't remember how old he must. He was older than 21. I had a kid by then, so I was in my 30s. That's another story. Well, on the other hand, no, it isn't. I mean to say, the thing is that, you know, I mean to say, he understood the idea that we already are in the eternal now. And it was a spiritual thing. I mean to say, his moral choices in life might have been, or in this life, might have been pretty damn poor, but, you know. And maybe the acid went to his head, and maybe it went to mine, but the thing is, long before I took acid, I knew I was going to take acid. And long before even I knew anything about acid, I thought that life was a pretty peculiar goddamn, you know, phenomena anyway. And I studied it as best as my understanding would allow. I mean, I was alive during the Cuban crisis, and I saw it through a child's eyes. And the Kennedy assassination, I saw that again also. I was there. I saw it on the TV. In my old man's archives, you'll probably find a picture of Kennedy coming to Ottawa at the time. And way out there in his XXX Kodak film string there in the limousine is open, outdoor, waving Kennedy to a happy crowd in Ottawa. That's not the place where he was shot, but I mean, it's an actual Kodak frame containing Kennedy at the time. Historical things. That's what this is all about. I mean, I'm not going to be here. But you, my offspring, my one offspring, and the offspring of all my friends and other family and everything like that, and their offspring too. You know, I mean, I tend toward the Nordic idea. If you want to make pictures of anything, you're not supposed to, but I mean to say anyway, if you think about it like that, genetically in the tree, and one generation begets the next, and more of this. And tell us. They tell us that there are 7 billion people in the world. And, you know, I'm inclined to believe a number like that seems reasonable. I don't know, some mathematician probably worked out about, you know, thinking about the souls and stuff like where all new souls come from, like, you know, stuff like that. Oh, I don't know. You go fucking figure it out. Plaster it on a video and make it public, your personal, private thoughts about this Shastri. Reveal your inner angers and all the rest of it, and belly aches. Stand up and testify. If not before the Lord, then before the damn world as it is, you know. I think we're developing a human collective mind that probably pre-existed the electronic age, but fuck me, man. If it didn't exist, we're inventing it now. Maybe one day mechanical intelligence will in fact evolve from this little seed of self-awareness. Anyway, I'm a self-aware individual, and I'm sharing with the rest of the cerebral planetary noetic net that, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was the grand epopt of the Illuminati. Getting back to that. Asshole, that's probably the word that I'm going to be using. Asshole. Lewis Carroll called it, well, he called it fucking Lewis. Dodgson called it fucking Lewis. Lewis, because that's the way it sounded like to him, you know. Lewis. And Lewis would come and sing songs. And so Dodgson called him Lewis Carroll. Anyway, it's just a story I heard. I know where I heard it from, but I don't know where the hell he heard it from. But it's just a story that's been going around. Robert Anton Wilson, of course. I've probably got some of his books on my shelf. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, right. I am the grand epopt of the Illuminati, and I will tell you why. It is because I am the one that in that well, for lack of a better word, we'll call it a book. I'm really getting into the spirit of things here. No. And, like, you know, I'm not even going to mention it by name. Maybe that's why the asshole gave them numbers. I never figured that out. Maybe because they've already given us numbers and not names. You ever thought about how numbers might mean things? Oh, yeah. Well, anybody that knows anything about what I'm talking about, and there are probably a few out there who do, will remember this long string and sequence of numbers, and I will now reveal the secret of those numbers that were written so long ago in Cairo. And I'm sure many before me have secretly tried to figure all this shit out. But, well, in our day and age, I think it's about time to proclaim it. We've all got our fucking numbers. We've all got our goddamn numbers, you know. Anybody in the civilized world, that is, you know, anybody with, you know, the access to the kind of technology that I'm using here, you know, everybody's acquainted with fucking numbers. I mean, the numbers that you have to use in order to fucking use any of the fucking digital technology and shit like that. And passwords and the PIN codes and all the rest for all your smartphones and all the rest of the crap. That if they told us at gunpoint that we had to have it, you know, or if they tried to, we wouldn't now, we would rather stand in line and buy the fuckers, but then again, you gotta admit, it's a fun toy too. I mean, this could be going out to somebody that's catching this in Australia. I know they have late night, midnight ramblings on some late talk show type shit, you know. It's a lot of it is airtime now, maybe, and it would bore my contemporary listeners, but the kind of shit that I'm talking about now is probably going to be of great interest for future generations digging through that shitload of data that we left behind us before it all fucked up. As I say, pot shards, messages in bottles. And here's the latest one. Yeah, right, I was thinking about, you know, some of you future dudes checking this out, you know, and you've acquired time travel and all the rest of it. Come on by and say hello. I'll be looking forward to seeing you. Well, I think I'm going to end this session for now because I'm not going to leave it running and fucking all this. Try to download this one and just call it the Nightly Nightmare. And so saying, he pulled this switch and putting down his joint. Or what was left of it. He simply put his fuck finger in his mouth and said,